Welcome everybody to the main event of the evening. Today we are doing a spoiler review of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Hey guys, welcome back to Comic Talk. Can we even afford that voiceover? No? Why are we doing the voiceover thing? You don't know? All right. That's all right. I guess we'll get the money somehow. But thank you. Welcome back. You heard it here. We're gonna review Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. I watched the movie. I only watched it once. Let me preference that. I'm a fan of Star Wars. I don't know like everything about Star Wars. Like I do Batman. I know like everything about Batman. I've seen all the Batman movies. I read Batman comics. Um, but Star Wars is a weird one. I've seen every Star Wars movie once. I've seen it at least once. Every Star Wars movie. Um, like the last two, Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. I only seen it once. I seen it maybe once or twice, but I only seen it in theaters when it came out. So that's the only time I've seen it. I never seen it after that. I never seen it um, outside the movie theater. So that's my point on it. Uh, I think this is an interesting trilogy. I can see why people love it. I can see why people hate it. I can see. I've heard all the points. So, but today we're just gonna talk about this movie, Rise of Skywalker, and I can see why I asked my friends, "Oh, did you like it? I'm gonna do a review on it. I want to get your thoughts on it. So, what did you think of the movie?" So I heard some people say they did not like the movie. It was too predictable. They didn't like the movie the way it was and all that stuff. And I had some people who said, "Oh, this is a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, best movie of the year." Well, not best movie of the year, but like they say, "Oh, this is really good. I really enjoyed myself." Me personally, I really enjoyed myself. I could see the points that people have brought up um, about the movie, saying, "Oh, I didn't like this part. I didn't like that part." Uh, but this is gonna be a spoiler review. A spoiler review. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm gonna be talking about some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. Come back to this video. But Rise of Skywalker, it's I can see why people don't like it. My opinion. I really wish that didn't. Ray wasn't a part of anybody. Like if she wasn't like the daughter of Skywalker or Luke Skywalker or um, granddaughter of Palpatine. The Emperor's back. Hit or miss with the Emperor. The execution was wrong on the Emperor. If they were gonna bring back the Emperor, I think the execution was wrong. I don't think that. I like that the actor. He did a good job as the Emperor, but I just didn't like how what they brought him back. Um, Left a lot of questions. A lot of people think that the theory is that he's a clone. He's not actually the Emperor, and then some people are like, "Oh no, he is the Emperor. This is him." I'm not too sure. I'm not into the Star Wars lore because I know that the video games, there's books, comic books that are into the lore. Star Wars: The Clone Wars apparently is canon also in the Star Wars lore. So I never watched all that. So I only watched the movies. And the video games as well are part of the canon. The only video games I played about for Star Wars is Lego Star Wars, which if you know, it's a really good game. Highly recommend you play that. But Lego Star Wars, it just goes beat for beat for the movies, and I don't expect anything else from a Lego Star Wars game, which is a really fun game, but it just goes for beat. Doesn't add anything to the story. Unlike these other Star Wars games, they add something to the story. Oh, these are canon. This is what happened. Or like Darth Maul and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Apparently, he's in that, and it adds to the story. But so I don't know much about the story. So Emperor, his son is Rey's dad, and they were nothing. And it did kind of seem like they just shoehorned in. Oh, she was because they never did they tease it? Because I watched the movies, I never got like a hint, like oh, she is the Emperor's granddaughter. I don't know if they gave any hints or in Force Awakens or the Last Jedi. I didn't see any hints or anything. Maybe I missed something. Let me know in the comment section below. Did I miss something? Was there hints leading that, oh, Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter? I didn't get any hints from that. Personally, I would have loved that she was to have been just herself and she was just a Jedi. Like Obi-Wan, he never came, he was not. He's a Jedi. He didn't come from, a long lineage of Jedis or like Yoda. And there's Jedis uh, who are just Jedi's. They don't need to be come from this person. Like, oh, they came from this person, that's why they're powerful, or they came from this person, that's why they're powerful. Maybe they could just learn stuff from other people. Like Luke learned from. Well, obviously he's son of Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker. But I would have preferred that she was just been a nobody. She just had these powers, and she maybe because like the Force, like they need balance, so they're like, here's Rey. We're gonna put her in balance, have her uh, correct the balance because Kylo Ren went evil. So then we need someone to correct the balance of the Force. So now she's a good person with Force. So that's my personal opinion. I would have loved that she. I just didn't like someone said that, oh, it was predictable about the Palpatine and all that stuff. I really, really, really wish in the last movie they said, oh, she's a nobody. Okay, she's a nobody. She can make herself. She could have her own story. She doesn't need to be. She doesn't really need to be connected to Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Yoda, or Palpatine, Vader. She doesn't need to be connected to anybody. She could just be her own person, and I think that would have been better. Um, Stuff I wanted to see in the movie. Let's see. I wrote some stuff down. Oh, we never really got like when Finn was like, "Oh, Ray, I need to tell you something." He never really told her what he needed to say, and I heard a theory that he is force sense. I heard that J.J. Abrams said in an interview. I could be wrong. I listened to a podcast and they said that they said in an interview that Finn was saying that he had the Force. That's what he was going to tell Ray. Because they didn't really say like, oh, what did he like? Did he love her? Did he was we didn't know what he wanted to tell her. He never said it in the movie. But I heard that Finn has the Force. That's what he wanted to tell her. Um, Force. I could see a lot of people were talking about how they didn't since J.J. Abrams directed the first one and then he directed this one and then someone Ryan Johnson directed Last Jedi, but everybody's saying that they retconned the Last Jedi. They didn't. One of the big things was in Last Jedi when Luke got this lightsaber, he just like threw it and like, oh, who cares about this? And in this one, they just kind of course correct that. Like J.J. Abrams didn't want to go to that route, so he was when Ray tried to throw it into the fire. Uh, of course, Luke Skywalker, he had came as a Force Ghost. He caught it. So Force Ghosts, they have powers. They never really do anything, but they have powers. They have powers to like Luke Skywalker. He's a Force Ghost, and he could lift that ship out of the thing. So I'm like, do Force Ghosts like let me know in the comment section below. Have they ever done anything to help like other Jedi? Because without just not just wisdom, but like because they do have powers. They do have you can't really kill them. You can't but they have the power to hold lightsabers. They have power. They have the Force still. Like Luke Skywalker, we saw he was a ghost and he's lifting up this thing. I'm like, oh, help out! Jeez, he can't die. Just help out, or is there a rule that they can't help out? I'm not too sure because they usually they help out and he helped her out. He helped her out with the ship and he helped her out with that thing. Oh, and the Emperor, instead of he is alive. Again, if you've been watching this far, you're already in it. So Emperor coming back, does that take away from it? I feel, in my opinion, it does take away the moment that when Anakin killed him, and I forgot what the name of the movie is. Forgive me, please forgive me. I forget the movie name, but I'll probably have it right here. But it takes away when he throws him on, throws him, and where he kills him. Darth Vader kills him to redeem Luke's trust and all that stuff. And he's like, oh, he's a good guy. He there to protect his son. He's gonna kill his son, but then he threw him and all that stuff. So that's why Luke Skywalker, and then Anakin died from that as well. So I think that just takes away that moment that the Emperor died, and then another retcon. Oh, forgive me, I'm jumping around, but another retcon is Finn and Rose, and because she was a big part in Last Jedi, they had a thing. Finn and Rose, they had a thing. They were like gonna be a couple or whatever, and she was like in like 5 minutes in this movie. She got friend zoned, I guess. She got friend zoned, and um, she's like, "Oh, do you want me to go with you?" And he's like, "Nah, I got this. No worry. I'm gonna go with Ray." But he got, so they retconned her. I think the only reason that she was in it because he's like, "Oh well, she was in the last one. We have to kind of bring her in." Um, CP3O was pretty funny. The little thing that forget the the scavenger or whatever to fix CP3O was pretty funny. Didn't really have anything to do with the plot. I think he was just a plot device or whatever, just try a comedic thing. And oh, and then when Leia, and what did Leia do to Ben Solo? Like, did she distract him? Was she the one who brought Ben Han? Was did she know that Ray and uh did she know that? I wonder if she knew that Ray and Ben were fighting. Were they fight? Did she know? Did she sense that, oh, they were fighting? Let me stop him so she doesn't kill Ray, or was it just to reach out to him? And if she could reach out to him, why did she wait till now to reach out to him, not before, not in any of the movies before, or why at that moment? Did she know? Because it didn't really, excuse me, it didn't really specify. Did she know that she was fighting Ray? Did she not know that he was fighting Ray? Um, was she doing it to protect Ray? Was she doing it just to try to call to Ben? I don't know. That's one of the unanswered questions in the movie as well. Like Finn, did Finn want to tell Ray? Um, One of the best part of the movies was the emotional part with I can't believe that they kept that under wraps. Like usually things leak out, but Han Solo, Harrison Ford comes back as Han Solo for this brief moment. We thought that he was done with the movies. They probably paid him a lot of money just to come back, but they kept that under wraps. I did not hear anything about Harrison Ford being in the movie. I didn't hear anything about Han Solo being in remotely or a cameo in the movie, because usually you hear like, oh, this person's gonna be in a cameo in this movie, or this person's gonna be the cameo in a movie. You usually hear about it. I didn't hear anything about it, so when I saw it, I think that's what they should do, because like everybody was in the movie. They were like, what? Han Solo is in the movie? Like everybody was surprised. Everybody had, I heard like a big gasp in the movie theater, and so I didn't even know. So I think that's better. Like when you don't know and then you see that person in the movie, I'm like, oh my goodness. So it makes a bigger impact. Just in my opinion, it makes a bigger impact when you don't know. I'm glad I didn't know that he was in the movie. So I think that moment would have been tainted. It wouldn't have been as good if we knew that he was gonna be in the movie, because we would have been looking for him. When I heard his voice, like, "Hey kid," I'm like, wait, is that him? That can't be him. Let's see, what else? Oh, one of the biggest things I heard on Fat Man Beyond, with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin, they were saying, and I was thinking the same thing too, but he said it. They said it first. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I came up with the idea, but they said it first, and I was thinking the same. I was kind of thinking the same idea. Like I really wanted to see, when Ray is coming up, and we hear like all the voices. Wouldn't it have been cool to see all of the Force ghosts right there, like you know Yoda and Mace Windu. Like we heard all the voices. I didn't get who all the voices were because I'm not well versed in my Star Wars, but I did hear Yoda and all that stuff, and I think Liam Neeson. I think I heard, and I believe because I need to watch it again to see what voices who were what. But a lot of people were like, "Oh, so that person was in it, or that? Oh, I heard that person, but I didn't hear that person. I heard that person, but I didn't hear that person." So it would have been cool if we saw them right there, and then they helped her, like with their force powers as well to defeat the Emperor. Because we already seen that fight where like the lightning versus the lightsaber. I think we've seen that before. I think that would have been cool. Something that we never seen before, where all the Force ghosts are there. We see them, and they're like giving their Force powers to Rey and cheering her on as well, or whatever. Like we're here. We're here. And they use the Force to defeat the Emperor because he's all powerful now. He's back to he got their Force or whatever, and so I think that would have been cool to see all of them in the same place. Because we only saw Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost. So I think that would have been cool if we saw Ben Kenobi and Mace Windu. And like, that would have been cool to see all of them again in like just one movie. That would have been like, that would have been crazy. I don't know if they would have, maybe there was an idea to do that, but I think that would have been really cool to see that in the movie. Let's see what else. Oh, and the best part, in my opinion, like that got me, and it got me goosebumps, and I almost cried during this part as well. When Chewie cried when he found out that Leia died, he like went on all fours. He started crying. I was like, oh my god, because basically this is like one of his lifelong friends who've died because he's lost Luke Skywalker. He's dead, and Han is dead. And now Leia's dead. So like basically all the people that he knew from the original, from way back when they died, and they're not there anymore. So then Leia was like kind of like the last one of the last people. Lando's still there, but like he had a better relationship with like Leia and Han and Luke, and they're all dead. So then Leia was like kind of the last one, and that was like the last tier, and he went on all four. I almost started crying too because I was like really emotional, and so because I was like one of his lifelong friends and basically his family, and that was one of the best executed parts in this movie because there was a lot of things that like the action was really good. The lightsaber fight scenes are really good. Um, Everything was really good. Just some of the parts like I didn't like were kind of like the dialogue and all that stuff. Oh, don't get like when Chewie that they made everybody think that Chewie died, and there's like, oh, there was a second airship or whatever. No, there wasn't. They should have teased that there was a second airship. As well as I do, there was no other second ship that there was there. Don't You have to agree with me on that because that there was no other second ship. I'm like, wait, how did he even serve? There was a second ship. We saw him get into that ship. We saw them get in a force battle to does it go? Does it not go with him and with her and Ben or Kylo Ren and he had there was no other ship. We would have saw it. We would have heard it. We would have saw it like go up and then but apparently that there was another ship or whatever. I don't know why they brought two. Doesn't even make sense. And that was like one of the things I was like, okay, come on. I know that this is space. But my disbelief for that one was like I wasn't believing it. I wasn't. There was like I wasn't believing that one. That one was a lot of people were like, okay, that doesn't even make sense. And because we know that Chewie, it didn't feel like Chewie died. It didn't feel like, oh, did he die? Did he survive? Like, I felt like it was just a way for like people to get an emotional reaction. where it wouldn't happen organically. Like, oh, I didn't really feel like, oh, Chewie died or whatever. I don't think that way that I don't know. It was just the way they didn't execute it right. They didn't execute that at all right. CP3O, that was kind of funny. They just glossed over like, oh, CP3O, he doesn't have his memory back. It was pretty funny. Like, oh yeah, he's my oldest friend. Yeah, I met him like 2 days ago. Like, who are you guys? And then uh, what is R2D2 like gets kind of his memory back. He doesn't have his full memory back, but he knows he gets like basically his memory back. And we just gloss over that. I'm like, oh, okay, we gloss over that. I guess so. What else? But as a whole, like I enjoyed myself. I really liked the action scenes. For me, I'm really if there's good action scenes, I'm okay with it. I like the movie, like John Wick. Really good action scenes. Like the plot is okay, but like the action scenes, that's what they're here for. Um, Star Wars, I get it. We're here for the story as well. We want great action, and then we want great story as well. So the story was lacking, but the action was not. The action was really good. I really like the action. The lightsaber fights, of course, in these newer movies are better than the old prequels. I seen the not the prequels, the original trilogy. Um, the lightsaber fights. We get to see like because they have better technology, better CGI, better effects and all that stuff. So we get to see um people go crazy with the force, in that first scene with of the movie. That was a really badass scene with Kylo Ren just throwing people and with the lightsaber and all that stuff, using his force. I like when they go crazy with the force. Use the force. We don't see people really go crazy with the force or anything. We just see like he chokes out one guy and that's it. But like I want to see like with badass fight scenes, badass lightsaber fight scenes with and using the force, throwing people. That's why, in my opinion, the best scene in a Star Wars movie is not even in the 9 movies. It's Rogue One, that last scene with Darth Vader where he's just throwing people. I'm like, okay, this is badass. This is what Darth Vader is. We talked about how badass he is, but we've never seen how really badass he is. He usually just chokes out one person who they're not really fighting back. Like, oh, I'm done with them, so I'm just gonna choke them out. But he was like throwing people, and they're actually trying to shoot at him. He's blocking them with his lightsaber. He's throwing them. That's what I really want to see. Just throw people, and that would have been really cool. But the action, again, the action scenes are really good. Story was kind of lacking. Oh, before the kiss. Everybody's talking about that last kiss with Kylo Ren and Rey. Um, I don't. It did not feel earned. Did not feel like um. There was a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, the camera," but I didn't feel like in the last 3 movies or this movie especially they didn't. I didn't see like any connection. I didn't see anything like leading up. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna be they're on the same side. They could be a couple. I didn't really see anything like that. Finn and Rose, maybe, yeah, they teed that up in the last movie and then they just forgot about that one. But this one, like, I didn't, in my opinion, I didn't feel like, oh, they earned that moment. Um, Someone said that if they kiss, he should live. But if they didn't, if he's gonna die, why the kiss? I don't get it. There's no reason for that to happen. There's no reason for that. I didn't. It just didn't feel earned, in my opinion. They sold it because they're good actors. They're really good actors, but it just in my opinion, it didn't that moment didn't feel earned. It didn't feel like it didn't further the plot or in any way. It didn't So and he died. So I was like, okay. So was wrong? And then a lot of people are saying that they're doing a beat for beat for like Avengers when like, oh, we're gonna die, and then they're like, when Cap is Avengers Endgame, and the Cap is like right there, and he's gonna face Thanos, and he's just by himself, and he hears on your left, and Sam, and like the whole army and all that stuff, and that's what we got with like Lando Calrissian. Oh, guess what, kid, we're here. And it's Lando, and then we have a big army. So it's like beat for beat with Avengers Endgame and with this movie. And they came out in the same year from the same company, Disney. So they're both Disney movies. Um, a lot of people saying that, oh, it is beat for beat, and it didn't feel, since we already saw it in Avengers Endgame, it didn't really. I can see how people can see that in Avengers Endgame, that moment felt earned because we had a 23 movie arc, and we already had set up on your left from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and so that phrase means something to Captain America. Um, Lando Calrissian, these people just met Lando. They didn't know him from. They've heard of him. They've heard of his stories. They heard about him, but they've never really met him. So that moment isn't as powerful as when Sam and Cap, because they had they've had a relationship. They've known each other for a while. They've known each other for years. Lando Calrissian, he he just met them basically. He just met them. Like he knows CP3O. He knows um R2D2. He knows Leia, but he doesn't know these characters because he just came in. So I can see why people are like, oh, that moment didn't is a beat for beat, and we already saw it done well this year. It was this. We're still in 2019. It was this year that they just did that, and then it's the same company, same big blockbuster movie, and it's the same fans. These fans who love Star Wars, I'm pretty sure saw Avengers Endgame. All the people who I've talked to about who've seen Star Wars have also seen Avengers Endgames, and me included. I've seen so these past craws, and they're the same company. So of course people are gonna see it. This Disney movie, everybody's gonna see it. So I think I don't know if that was intentional. It was that intentional, but it felt like kind of like a beat for beat. On and a lot of people said um, that last fight with the Emperor and Rey was kind of like Thanos and Iron Man, and she's like, "I have the Force" or whatever, and basically like her saying, "I am Iron Man," and he's like, "I am all the Sith," which is basically Thanos saying, "I'm inevitable," and she's like, I have all the Force or whatever. I have all the Jedi behind me," which is basically saying I am Iron Man or whatever. So it's kind of like parallels in that thing as well, and then that of Atlanta Calrissian. But of course, Avengers Endgame did it better because we've had 20, all these movies setting this up, where this movie wasn't like, didn't really set it up and all that stuff. But I think there's gonna be. Did I have anything else to talk about? Let's see. No, but all the points about like but the really big thing I really wanted to see was all the Force Ghosts at the end of the fight helping her out. That would have been really cool. That would have been something different, something unexpected. And then I'm pretty sure people would have been like, "Oh my goodness, we're seeing Yoda, we're seeing Mace Windu, we're seeing all these characters that we haven't seen together in how many years? I don't even know how many years. I don't think they've all been in the same room together." And that would have been really cool to see them all in the same room, all in the um, same area. All Force Ghosts, because they have powers. I don't know why they can't just help her out. Why can't they be there as well with her and help her defeat the Emperor? That would have been really cool. That would have been a really cool ending as well. And that was just my opinion about that. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comment section below. What else? I think that's about it. Chewie crying, I said about that. Finn has the, yeah. They said Finn about the Force. That's what he wanted to tell Rey. Does the Emperor bring? Okay, I talked about that. Han Solo being back, that was really surprising. What did Leia do to Ben? CP3O, probably the best character in the movie. Finn and Rose. Um, so yeah, so a lot of this is end of an era, end of 9 movie series. dating back 42 years. So this is 11 movies. There's 9 movies, regular movies, but like yeah, there was 9. I don't know if I cut off a little, but so it was yeah, there's 9 movies, 11 movies, Star Wars movies. The other two being Rogue One and Solo. But I think I'm gonna end the review right here. I to be honest, I really enjoyed the movie. I give it a 7. Can't give it a 10. It wasn't like amazing. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best Star Wars movie I've seen. But I'm giving it a 7. I did enjoy the movie. I did laugh. I got the goosebumps. I did, got all the emotions. So I think it was a good movie. I do recommend you go see it. If you're a Star Wars fan, I do recommend you go see it. I do recommend you see this movie. I think it was really good. Um, I could see why people didn't like it. I could see why, and all the things I mentioned before. Because it wasn't, and a lot of things were, it was like two different directors, so they didn't have a really clear path for the trilogy. Like unlike Marvel, where they have, okay, they have a Kevin Feige to like, oh, this is the storyline. It's different directors, but like we're gonna have this storyline. He's gonna be there telling like, oh, okay, we have to end this movie like this to set up this. We have to end this movie. We need to set up this so we can set up that for this movie. And it didn't feel like it felt like they just added um, Palpatine in this movie, just like, oh yeah, Leia knew that the whole time that you were a Palpatine. Did Luke Skywalker know she was a Palpatine? Uh, that's. I think I talked about everything. Oh, Leia learning how to do the light. That was pretty cool. I think that was pretty cool. How Leia, like Luke trained Leia how to do the lightsabers, and it does explain a little bit how when Leia used the Force, of course, everybody is can be Force sensitive, and she is a Skywalker, so I think Luke trained her a little bit, so that was really cool. Little montage at the end, but I think I'm gonna end the review right there. Please like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Did you guys love the movie? Did you hate the movie? What was your favorite parts of the movie? What was your least favorite part of the movie? In the comment section below. Thank you guys. Love you. I'll see you guys later.